I don't know which year, but in terms of
Which
demographic,
is
it's
which
like,
is more? Men are more or women are more?
well, it's around zero point 0.9 men to every one female.
When I'm doing this podcast, people are like, you need to have a niche. You cannot just have everybody. So I'm trying to figure out how to get or find the people who would be interested in knowing about different cultures and countries. So people ask me, what is your podcast about? I've started now saying that it's about diversity of all countries and regions. That's what you're covering through arts, culture, entrepreneurship, and science. So, whom do you think will be interested in a podcast like this, where each episode is something totally new, but also same in the questions we ask all the guests?
Well, I guess it's open-minded people that do like to explore and explore not just by traveling to certain locations, but by researching and learning about different kind of people and other kind of ways of life. And so probably it's mainly open-minded people that are looking in the world in a broader sense than their national identity. Let's say they're like some kind of other identity. And as the more access is happening with traveling, it's for people who just want to not think stereotypically, but do their research before, so it kind of
Hmm.
broadens their minds. Because, when a closed mind people hears of the words, I don't know, Iranian, they immediately think about an extremist or something like that, which is that's just what they have seen through the media, through the television. And different kind of countries have different kind of schemes in terms of their politics and mass media and other kind of
Propaganda.
nuances. Propaganda, that's the main words. And of course, like, you don't have to throw away the baby with the bathwater. There's something true in every joke or in every stereotype. But if it's only the stereotype that you have in the mind, then your views of the world is twisted. And if you want to kind of untwist those views, your channel is good for that, because you get to see a person from a different culture. You get to hear, and to also you get some leads to follow. So if you're interested in a certain topic, you can then take the word that you heard or the phrase or the idea and research it further. So it's a good introduction, diving deeper and catching more leads.
As you're speaking, I remembered another question. How is the sex ratio in Baltic countries or Lithuania in that manner? Like the
I
ratio
think
of
it's
men to
like,
women.
I think from, I don't know which year, but in terms of
Which is
demographic, it's
which
like,
is more? Men are more or women are more?
well, it's around zero point 0.9 men to every one female. So it's skewed, and there are more females than men. And mainly it's because of world wars and the Holocaust. Because during the Holocaust, around from the 200,000 Jewish inhabitants of Lithuania, 90% were executed. So 180,000 died just in the Holocaust. And that is why we have many kind of memoriam sites for the victims of the Holocaust during the Nazi takeover of Lithuania. That's why I was a little bit sensitive when I saw the swastika in red and black colors and trying to
Ah.
appropriate Lithuanian symbolism in the Nazi way of symbolic measures, is because
Hmm.
most probably it was from those times and not good things were happening in the Lithuania region at that moment.
Oh, I understand. Is it a major religion in Lithuania
At the moment, no. Past, it was much more common
before the Holocaust? Or
before
did
the Holocaust, yeah.
Holocaust wipe all the Jews?
Like 90% of the Jewish community was lost. And I think part of why there was quite a significant Jewish community in Lithuania is because even from the 40th century, we were inviting different kind of craftspeople and different kind of specialists into the Lithuanian kingdom to like have their crafts, have their diplomacy running. And we were kind of also inclusive of different kind of people coming to Lithuania and starting their business, although the word business was not a thing at that time,
Hmm.
but starting their crafts places. And so
So
I think from those times,
why
there was a lot of Jews.
why didn't the sex ratio improve after that? It's been a while, right? There must be 2 or 3 generations at least that I might have gone, or four.
Well, it's a common theme in many European countries, I believe, that the birth ratio is going down. And, even I am part of that ratio because I don't have kids and I'm 30 years old. And, just people are having less children. We are having children later. So now it's very common to have children after 30, like a new norm. And at the same time, many people emigrate from Lithuania because they're looking for other kind of opportunities. Imagine that Lithuania is made of around 2.83 million people currently, something like that.
2.8 million people. Okay.
Yeah, so that's not a big number, but just in one American city, which is Chicago, in unofficial data and official demographics, there's 1 million Lithuanians in one foreign city. So it's like 1/3 of the whole country, and the current numbers is in Chicago.
So you need to learn Lithuanian before going to Chicago.
Definitely, definitely. And also it's good because the language, I believe, like many people preserve the language outside of the country. So Lithuanian language currently is in endangered language list. It's endangered of disappearing, at least for certain people. And in a way that's good because even if our demographics is going to continue to decrease, which is, I think, no country in history has, after the demographics started to dip, it climbed back up. So when it starts to dip, it continues to dip. And I don't know what kind of measures there must have to be taken to bring that back. So that's a little bit a sad note in terms of the future of the country if it continues going that way.
It's quite interesting. In India, there are more men than women.
Right.
Yeah. It was because of female infanticide.
Right.
Preferring the male child over the female child. That's changing now. Government has proposed so many laws. So it's really proud feeling to have a daughter. It is changing. The whole society and community is changing. A lot of ownership, land ownership and wealth related things, advantages are given to women now. So I think it should grow. At the point of population collapse or decline, I think it's happening everywhere. I spoke this.
True that.
I was you're talking about the same thing when I was talking to an anthropologist from Mongolia. It's
Really?
even there. Yeah. Only the country where I have heard people having good fertility rate and population growing is Africa.
Yeah, still ongoing.
Yeah.
I think it's a common thing that people are worried about population growth. And well, it's a legitimate worry because more people, less food and space, more environmental impacts. But it's definitely going to stagnate. And most probably after it stagnates, it's going to start dropping significantly because we are going to have much more older people than young people. The tables will turn, and I wonder who is going to build the infrastructure, produce goods after most of the population is made of old people. So luckily in Africa now it's actually different because I think I have heard that in Mozambique over 50% of people are below 15. So it's a very young country. And even China now has, I think, that when there's the demographics,
collapsing,
most of the time,
collapsing population.
like in Mozambique, the pyramid is like this, right? So there's just a little bit of old people and there's a significant amount of young people. In China, it's more now, it's becoming like a cylinder shape. So it's like the same age group, there's a similar amount of people, but because of the one-child policy that they had before, it's going to change probably with time. And late capitalism societies, maybe we could say.
Late capitalism society, I like that.
where there's a lot of older people, the pyramid has turned like this. So there's a lot of old people, less middle-aged people, and not so many young people. Even the shape shows that there's a lot of pressure coming down. And that's not very good in many ways.
Watch full podcast on Rocklaz.
Rocklaz Radio.
Rocklaz.
Rocklaz.
Rocklaz Radio with Tanmay Shah.